What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Gaming with the Broscast, episode 149. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother Nick. As always, Nick, how are you doing, buddy?
Doing great, man. Another episode, another day. We got the Game Awards this week.
Yeah,
Got
super
some exciting stuff.
I am.
What's your hype level? What's your hype level?
I'm kind of mid. I'm excited. I'm excited because we get to stream it together. That's all. That's the funnest part, right?
Yeah.
So we can speculate and just completely wrong. But as far as the show goes, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. Is where I've been like the last year or so with Jeff Keighley stuff, just because it's just not always there. But hey, Xenoblade 3 is a Game of the Year contender, so I'm just happy for that.
You're happy. All right, question right off the bat. What big name actor is going to make a cameo appearance at the Game Awards and do something
Well, I think
game related?
Well, like Keanu Reeves, I think is already confirmed, isn't he, to be there? I think he's always there, anyways. He's usually there the last couple years.
Okay. Keanu?
I will shut the stream down if The Rock shows up. I'm done. I'm good with The Rock.
What about if Vin Diesel shows up?
Shows off his new, I don't know, Fast and Furious game.
Or the new Ark?
Oh God! That would be hilarious. That would actually be hilarious. Yeah, I could live for that. I don't know. Like Reggie's art is going to be there. I think he's confirmed. I think he's usually there every year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The Rock's going to be there. You know
sure.
It's going to happen.
He's
gonna pump up Black Adam. He's gonna be like, go get it on DVD. Go rent it at your local Redbox.
Yeah, when you're pumping iron in the gym, just throw it up on the TV.
Here I am in my enormously large home gym, drinking my Zoa energy drink and finishing off with some Terramina tequila.
You just know all of it, don't you?
I like The Rock. He's a little bit of a
I do too.
Corporate shill a little bit, but I like
yeah,
him.
yeah. Oh, you know what? Dave Bautista is going to be there. He's going to be decked out in a Gears uniform, trying to sell himself as Marcus Phoenix. That's my prediction. So? Yeah.
And we're gonna have a Gears 6 trailer.
Did you see his TikTok? He's got like a video of him in the uniform, and he's just like he ends it like with his arms crossed. He's like, I'm waiting. He looks awesome.
Honestly, if they don't cast him, that's like that's the biggest miss in all of film and all of movies.
Yeah,
like the perfect guy for it is sitting there right in front of you.
Yeah, why not?
He's a good actor too. So.
Yeah, I like Dave Bautista. He's a good guy. But Nick, before we are gonna do our annual video game award predictions. But before we get into that and the games we've been playing and all that stuff, how was your week?
Week was pretty good. Yeah, not too much happened. Went to a Christmas party this weekend and did like a Dirty Santa thing.
Oh, nice.
I won a 2023 calendar of dogs pooping.
Heck
so
yeah.
every month is a different dog taking a little doo-doo. It's
nice.
Very, very cute. And then what else did I get? I got like a that's bullshit button.
Okay.
So I don't think that was fun. Yeah. So it was a fun time. My friend who was staying with us, he actually won like a kid's Razor scooter. So
who brought that?
I don't know, but it was a great idea because we brought it home and started shredding up the driveway.
I'm sure your ankles were absolutely busted.
My ankles were fine. His hand, like he fell like 5 times.
Really?
He fell upon startup. He started riding it and like he went out of the garage and there's like a little bit of a dip. He hit it going too slow. He ate it.
That's the worst. Okay.
Yeah, so just imagine him trying to ride a Razor scooter, but
that's hilarious.
Yeah, he got a pretty good gash on his hand from falling out in the street.
Gosh,
so, pretty fun. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, great weekend. How about you? How's your week? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just spent most of the week like on Amazon, just scouring their deals for Christmas.
Yeah.
Getting there. We're gonna on Wednesday. We're gonna drop the kids off at the parents and do our kind of like our last bit of shopping. Clothes and whatnot. But yeah, we had our parents' Christmas party on Saturday. That was cool.
Did you have the specialty drink?
I did. It was like a cranberry margarita. It was really good. I walked in, and Dad's eyes were just immediately glazed over. He already looked completely like buzzed. I was like, dude, it's 7:30.
You probably had a few.
Oh, I'm
Had a
sure.
few drinks beforehand.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I asked him that like an hour ago. I was like, "Hey, do you have any drinks?" And he's like, "Yeah, I had a few." I was like, "Okay."
I saw him. When I was there, he had at least like 6 beers. He didn't drink. I don't think he drank any cocktail. He had like beers. He had like a tall pint glass, whatever he was pouring beers into. I don't know who he was drinking, but yeah, just immediately eye glaze.
For those listening, our dad he's not an alcoholic by any means. I really see him like drink, a lot.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like his parties and that kind of stuff, he'll put them back.
Yeah, he was feeling good. I think we were like the first ones there. We were the first ones there, other than like their neighbors, and yeah, just immediate eye glaze. I'm like, all right, whatever, that's cool. But I wore like we all got like a different sweater. I got me a nice like a Darth Vader ugly Christmas sweater.
Oh,
Yeah, it was classic, super classic. So that was fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and then just came home, did our thing, and then Sunday played a lot of Callisto.
a lot of Callisto.
Callisto.
That's
Yeah,
also what I
Callisto.
did this weekend.
Callisto.
Callisto.
Yeah. So I played like maybe 30 minutes on Friday. Just cause I always like I'm always hyped up for when a game comes out like on Friday, but usually Brittany and I are hanging out and I'm running around doing errands, getting stuff for dinner, and I usually don't have time. Like maybe
You're doing your thing.
Yeah. It's like, and I got the whole weekend and stuff, but maybe I'll bust out like a couple of rounds in like Halo, just get me in the right mindset for the weekend,
Are you in the winning mindset?
Yeah. Well, no, I was. It's funny because like Friday, I played like 2 or 3 rounds, and I was just dominating. Like I was just murdering kids, and I was like, I looked at my hands and the controller, and I was just like, what is going on? Am I having a resurgence of like 10 years ago?
Am I a god?
Am I going pro? But yeah, and then I played a little bit Saturday, and then played a lot on Sunday, and then played a little bit of day. But yeah, you wanna dive into Callisto?
Actually, before we get into Callisto,
yeah.
I finished up God of War.
Yes.
I did that. Okay, I did that after last week's episode.
Yeah.
I think I was like super close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the ending. I thought it was like I thought it ended exactly how it should have.
Yeah.
I was like super satisfied with the ending. Not too much more to say about it compared to last week. I really enjoyed it. Really liked it. It's going to be in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be number 1. Well, I know it's not going to be number 1, but yeah, really great game. Really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought the last like few hours were really fun. It really like picked up.
Yeah, it ends. Yeah, it ends super strong. There really wasn't like a lot of people. I'm not gonna say anything. There's a moment in the game where there's not a lot of action going on, and you're. I think we talked about last week, but you play as Atreus. But there's a moment where you're playing as Atreus. I think for like one of the first times, and that whole area, I think people were kind of like down on it. But again, it's a lot of like expositions, and I really enjoy stuff like that. So like I really like that level. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Plus it ends really strongly with that boss fight too. So. But yeah, there wasn't a really much of the game that I did not like. There wasn't like a single level that I can really think of that I was like, man, like that was a little long in the tooth. I feel like they do a pretty good job of getting you in and out of like the different realms and stuff like that. So
yeah, one area I didn't love was Helheim.
Yeah, yeah, I'll agree with that.
I thought that one was a little bit not generic, but I don't know. There wasn't like a lot of uh, how do I put this? It wasn't visually appealing,
Yeah,
and it was a little bit samey
yeah,
going
yeah,
from it was that area is a little bit more siloed, a little bit more narrow.
yeah, yeah,
Not much exploring to do, unlike the other areas.
yeah.
So that's one area that I like just didn't like. I didn't like
But it's
going
not. But
to.
it's not like a long part though. It's
I think there are a few times that you go there.
yeah.
Actually, I don't know if we're getting into spoiler territory, but people know that
Well, I mean,
you
yeah,
go to
you know, you're gonna
9
touch
rounds.
all 9 realms, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're gonna do a spoiler cast at some point during this month. Maybe we'll do it and have it released like on the Monday after Christmas, since Christmas is on a Sunday. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Maybe
that
we
way
could
we'll just take
do
that,
it.
and then we'll come back and either do game of the year stuff, or maybe do the game of the year stuff like a couple of weeks. It really doesn't matter if we need more time. We certainly can, because there's still some more games that I want to at least
And
try.
there's one big game that I still want to play.
Yes, Sonic Frontiers.
I'm so excited. I really want to check this. Like, it feels like it's gonna be like a Tony Hawk game.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
just
was debating because like I was gonna get it free on the Switch just so you could play handheld, but I've heard like kind of extra mediocre things about it on the Switch. So I was like, no, let me get the PS5 version. I think that's like the best version.
Yeah.
Or that, well, I think that's where they're all reviewed on. So, I know
Yeah. Glad you got me the PS5 version.
I know it'll at least run well. I can't say anything about everything else, but yeah, I'm excited for you to play it and hear your perspective on it as a non-Sonic guy.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not either.
Going
You going fresh with fresh eyes.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, but yeah, God of War, man. I've kind of, I'm still gonna go back and do some of the side stuff, but as I've kind of, the last week or so thinking about it, and I watched like the spoiler cast for kind of funny games, the PS I Love You, with Greg Miller and a couple other guys. They had like the director on there talking about the game and stuff, and I was like, man, like the storytelling, like all the stuff, man, it was just so good. And I know we talked about it last week and the week before that it combat wise, it really doesn't do too much different than 2018, but
Yeah.
man, just that story, like whatever happens in the future with that game, whether it's a spinoff or we see a continuation or whatever the case is, like I'm invested. Like it's such good storytelling, like some of the best
Yeah.
in gaming in general.
Yeah, one of the best like pieces of storytelling in games that I've seen.
Yeah,
Just everything was so well thought out. The side quests were engaging, even more so than the story.
Yeah, some of the best side quests. It just
Yeah.
they're so good. Even like depending on how. I mean, they're not doing much different things in the side quests, but just the little stories they're telling is really cool. So yeah,
The little moments.
yeah, moments. But let's. I see you got Marvel Snap on here. Do you want to talk about Marvel Snap at all?
Yeah, that's kind of left over from last week, but yeah, the season's ending tonight.
Yeah, I didn't realize because I was scrolling through it and there was like over 500 like season stuff in there, so I didn't know if that was all Wakanda.
500 unlocks.
For like for the Warriors of Wakanda. Wakanda, not Wakanda. Wakanda. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But when I was scrolling, it kept going. Like it went all the way to like 500 and maybe beyond. But I don't know.
I think that's just for the people who finish early and keep playing because those just either I think it's like the collector's chests or whatever they are. They just give you credits or gold.
Okay, because I got
So
to
it's
level
just
50,
like
so I think I completed it, right?
Yeah, you did. You
Okay,
did.
awesome.
Yeah, because I got to 50 and then hit a few more levels and that was pretty much it. So now I'm just waiting for the new season.
Drop
Tomorrow.
another 10.
Drop another 10. Give him another.
It's so good, man. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, it's great. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's.
If anyone is listening and they haven't checked it out, you have no reason not to. It's a really fun game, even if you don't love Marvel. Like, it's just a great card game.
Yeah,
it's a great premise to
Yeah, I mean, matches are like 3 minutes tops.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's little investment time, and there's constant stuff to do. Whether it's building a deck and trying to pair stuff with cards you have, or doing dailies or weeklies, or typical battle pass crap. But it's still fun. It's good just because it's so fast.
Yeah,
take a poop, knock out like 5 games, and then you're good.
5 games.
You gotta
yeah, I've done that.
Gotta get the it's like, wow, why is my leg tingling? I gotta get up.
That was me last week. I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah, I think it was like, I went to bed and then I was like, well, let me just get 2 games in. And then like 2 turned into like 10, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I gotta go to bed.
You gotta cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a poop, and then I played so much that I had to take another poop because it's been so long.
My poop turned into a poop. But yeah, it's a really, really solid game. Probably one of the best card games I've ever played. It's just fun.
It's amazing.
But yeah. Do we know what the new season is? What it's going to entitle?
Yeah, it has Quicksilver.
Alexa, stop. Sorry, people. That I said the A word. My bad.
Yeah, it has Quicksilver and a few other cards. I think Quicksilver is like the new card, and the other 2 are variants. But I'm excited. Should be fun. Shop another 10.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll take a peek at it.
Yeah.
But let's dive into the big game of December. Probably the biggest game, I would arguable.
Yeah.
The Callisto Protocol. The Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, for those who don't know, this is made from the original creator of Dead Space.
Yep.
His name eludes me right now.
Yeah,
Greg Schofield.
That sounds correct. Yeah, it's one of the original creators. A spiritual sequel, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a kind of a Dead Space game, but also like not, because it's really heavy, and I didn't realize that, but they really emphasize melee combat, which is really cool, and I think it's a really solid like combat system.
Yeah, like I've heard a lot of criticism from people who just aren't getting it, who aren't understanding the combat system, and I don't really understand why, because the game it explains it to you pretty well, where like you're dodging left and right.
Yeah.
All you have to do is hold your stick in one direction. You don't have to time it.
Yeah, which is really nice.
You have to do is, yeah, especially for like the boss fights, right, where you're just constantly holding it left or right. But the only thing you have to do is you have to weave left and right between hits.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you continue your dodge, and you can find an opening. But like in addition to the actual melee combat, you have like a myriad of weapons. You have 4 or 5 different weapons that you end up with, and those all have differing levels of effectiveness. I think there are some standouts and some kind of like dud weapons, but I guess it depends on what upgrade path you take, and just kind of your preference.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like you have like your pistol, your shotgun, you get assault rifles, or get an assault rifle, imagine like Dead Space 1 or Dead Space 3.
Yeah.
Where you're going from your pistol to your assault rifle, and the enemies are scaling with your weapons.
Yeah. Where
you'll come across maybe 4 or 5 enemies at a time, whereas at the beginning of the game you're coming across 1 or 2. And
because you eventually get to a point where the enemies will kind of start to mutate, and as you're attacking them, these tentacles will come out of their chest, and you have to shoot them. Otherwise, they'll transform into an even stronger enemy, and they'll murder you. They'll kill you in like 2 hits. So I mean, the game. So this is where like I see a lot of criticism for the melee, because I mean there's definitely like early on melee is super emphasized. Like you don't even get your first actual gun until like an hour and a half in. And they definitely wanted you to like shoot, dude, or really start off with a melee if you can. Start with a melee. There'll be like a kind of a quick time kind of like a quick time trigger where like a reticule will go up on an enemy's like one of their weak points, and you just tap L and then R, and you'll shoot him, and then you can continue on with your combo if it doesn't kill them. Depending, I mean, you might be able to get 2 or 3 shots off. Just kind of depends. So it's really all about timing, but the game's hard. I mean, it's a hard. I mean, it's a pretty hard game. Like if you're not dodging, I mean, because the enemies. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
So there are some enemies like that will shoot projectiles at you, but for the most part, they're up in your face. And it can be a little overwhelming when there's like 3 or 4. Like it's really hard to kind of dodge because you don't necessarily have like a lock on mechanic, but if you like tap the right stick left or right, it'll start to kind of like auto lock onto some enemies. So that could be a little bit jarring when you've got one in your face and then it swings you at like 180 to a one behind you. Like that's a little frustrating. But by the time you get to the midpoint of the game, like you've got like a hand shotgun, I guess is what I call it, and then you've got like a regular shotgun. So kind of towards the middle of the game, like you're really, or at least I was like doing less hand-to-hand combat and more gun focus, just because there's so many enemies coming at you, and you honestly you get a lot of ammo in that area where you meet the blind enemies.
Yeah, and then of course you have like your like telekinesis thing as well, and that helps a ton.
Yes.
In the midsections of the game, and like some of my favorite moments of the game is when it traps you in a room with like all these environmental hazards, and all the heavy machinery, and it's like, okay, you know what to do. So I'm just like throwing them left and right into these things, and it's just that was like the first time that happens. I don't know if you remember it, but like you go into this room, it shuts down. And then you like turn on the power upstairs, and then you go downstairs, and there's like 2 rotating vestibule or whatever, 2 rotating things, and it was like super intense because it's like 3 minutes of enemies kind of like slowly coming at you. And
pro tip, I died on that spot a few times, and then what I did was I ran through the little kind of doorway it gives you, and then all the enemies spawned on the other side. So I was just pulling them through and just eating them up in the in the teeth of the whatever. But yeah, I mean the game is, it's one of the most prettiest games I've ever played. I think like this, like look wise, maybe not necessarily performance wise, because it does stutter a lot, or at least that's what I encountered. But just visually, it looks amazing. It looks like. Kind of looks like the first like really new next gen game, I think. God of War was pretty close. Like God of War looks fantastic, but it looks amazing on my PS4. So it can only look so much better on a PS5, lighting and stuff like that. But this game looks it looks amazing. The atmosphere is kind of what you would expect from like a spiritual successor to Dead Space. Like the sound design is incredible. It's creepy. It keeps you on your toes. I wish it was a little bit scarier, to be honest. It's not a super scary game. They kind of cop out with a lot of like jump scares.
Stupid jump scares of the things jumping out of the chests.
Yeah,
like, all the time.
Yeah, they do it a lot. Like Dead Space, I remember they only did it a few times. But with this, I mean, like, it's at least like 10 to 15 that I've encountered so far, between like the lockers and the chests and stuff like that. Which could be kind of annoying because like sometimes you need that health, and they kind of they'll take like a little sliver off. Usually they drop like the
30% health.
Yeah, like a 35% health, whatever. So yeah, they cop out on those like jump scares that aren't super great. Because I don't think I've jumped once in the game, to be honest. But
no.
But I kind of expect it. I see it all coming. Like, dead person laying on a gurney. Oh, he's coming up and he jumps up. So
yeah, it's very predictable. And I was watching an interview with the director, and he was like, "Listen, horror is hard. You only have one shot to scare somebody.
Yeah,
because once you scare them, they're immune to it. Essentially, if they go back and play it again, they're not going to be scared.
Yeah.
So he was like, it's super hard. It's super hard to make a horror game. And I can see that. Like, I can see like where he kind of struggled to, or where the team struggled to make this actually scary.
Yeah.
You know, it's got like a scary environment. You know, they do a really good job of like kind of world building and kind of setting the scene and having these like crazy settings, but the actual horror aspect just it doesn't hit how it did in Dead Space.
Yeah.
And speaking specifically about like Dead Space 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But
even Dead Space 2 was less horror. It was more action based. But yeah, that first Dead Space was pretty creepy. And Dead Space 2 had that one school area with like the baby necromorphs. So I mean, there was definitely some scary parts of Dead Space. But yeah, I mean, that being said, like I think like I've enjoyed the combat. There has definitely been some frustrating times with just dealing with like the camera thing that we got going on with that automated camera. I think once you, I guess another pro tip, definitely go in the skill tree. Go for the baton. That's like the main melee weapon in the game. Get the upgrade where you could break people's arms when they block you. That's huge to have. I don't know if you have that. Yeah, it's huge. Like you go to swing and they'll block you still, but it'll break their arm and do damage, and it'll kind of go right through them, and then you can continue on with your combo.
Actually, I do think I have that.
So that was super useful. Again, and then just use that the telekinesis type power that you get, because when you're just able to just yank people and throw them off the side of a cliff or a bridge or something, like super useful. Yeah, it you can upgrade that too and get recharge and stuff like that. It's not as giving as it is in like Dead Space. Like Dead Space, you can kind of use that stuff all the time, just about. And this, you definitely can't. Like, you'll use it 2 or 3 times. Yeah, you'll use it 2 or 3 times in like one encounter, and that's it. And then it recharges over time, but it's not as like I said, not as giving as it is in Dead Space.
Yeah, I heard some reviewers say that the telekinesis trivialized everything else, and I don't think that's true at all. I don't think it made the game too easy. I don't think like that's not the only thing you can use. You have to use melee to an extent. You have to use your weapons a ton. I mean, towards the end of the game, like
I mean, it might, like the early parts. It might, it certainly makes it a lot easier when you can just kind of take, because at that point in the game, you're only fighting 2 to 3 enemies at a time, so you can definitely like use that and knock out enemies. But yeah, going forward, like I was using a mixture of everything, like melee, telekinesis when I could. Sometimes like I would just pick one up and throw a guy just to get him out of my face for a second, and then I would wail on someone else. But yeah. I don't think it trivializes the game at all. I don't think it makes it any more easy. It's definitely like just another kind of tool. I mean, the main focus is really just dodging. Just get that mechanic down.
Yeah,
it took me about an hour and a half for it to click, and once it did, not gonna say it was smooth sailing, but it was a lot better. It was a lot better for me.
Felt pretty good.
Yeah.
Like going back to comparing it to Dead Space, I think, and I've for context, I finished the game yesterday and played it on Series X. The first half of the game reminds me a lot of Dead Space 1.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that claustrophobic feeling. Maybe not done as well as Dead Space 1, but still impactful and still really, really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And the second half is like going straight to Dead Space 3. And there's a transitional point that you might think of where like you hit it and you're like, oh man, this feels exactly like Dead Space 3.
You talking about the snow?
Yeah. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because at that point you have quite the arsenal of weapons.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard thing to do in a horror game, is like you're upgrading your weapons, you're getting new ones. At a certain point, you're going to be overpowered. So how do people combat that? They throw more enemies at you.
Yeah.
Or they throw stronger enemies at you. Or they throw bullshit bosses at you, like they do in the latter third of that game. And you've experienced those, so.
Yeah, I definitely think right now, I think the first half of the game is pretty strong, and the latter half is kind of weak for me right now. Mainly because of those bosses are so not necessarily bad, but man, like they'll kill you in one hit, like legitimately. If you do not dodge, they will get you in one hit, which was it's just terrible. So I guess all that being said that I like about the game. It's obviously, it kind of runs choppy at some points. Like it's not smooth a lot of the time. I think Jacob feels pretty clunky. Like he doesn't feel super quick. Like you sit there and try to. There's been times where if you get surrounded by enemies, like you're pretty much screwed. Like if you can run away, but like by the time you turn around, because there's not like a quick turn button either.
It needs to be a quick turn.
So and that's my biggest thing is I feel like they didn't focus test this game with people. Like I don't think people outside of the development played it because there's no quick turn, which is like number one thing you need in a survival horror game. So there's no quick turn. When you die, like so the dying sequences are sometimes pretty long, in which you can press start and hit restart checkpoint. I do that all the time now. But if you die, it just goes to like a black screen, and there's no text. There's no like helpful helpful tip. There's nothing like that. Which isn't a huge deal, but I mean like every game does that. So like why not have something like that there? And then like the audio logs, you have to go into the menu and listen to them. They don't just automatically play. Like that's 2008 Dead Space or whatever. Like how is that? Like I love like the audio logs. I mean that's been in every game since BioShock and Dead Space. Like it's so cool to go into a room, see some dead bodies, and you're like, what the hell happened here? And then you hear the audio log and you find out what happens, or you fall along a trail of this person. They end up getting killed inevitably. But I listened to like the first maybe 15, and then I was like, I'm not gonna listen to this anymore because it's just granted they're 15 seconds, 20 seconds, but like I don't want to have to go into the menu every time.
So the director mentioned this as well. He said, and I might be butchering this, but he said he didn't want to take people out of the moment and
I don't agree with that at all.
Take away the fear factor of actually playing the game in silence or whatever. But the problem with that is
they're 15 seconds. Like,
is that games have already solved that. You just give people the option to play them when they pick them up, and you don't have to hold A to play them. You can keep moving on.
Yeah, you just like hold up on the D-pad or something, like play now or whatever.
Like, why not include that? I think you're onto something in that this game wasn't play tested outside of their company, outside of their internal studio, and it's apparent in that kind of stuff, especially in the bosses, which are like I said, they're pretty bullshit.
And I've only encountered 2 bosses now, I guess, but I fought the same one 3 times now, and it's a melee boss. Well, I guess they're all melee, but if it touches you, you're dead, which is insane. But I mean, it makes sense. It's a bigger enemy, and obviously, if it gets a hold of you, it's gonna kill you. But and it's pretty like so. My biggest frustration, and it really came into play when I was fighting that boss, is I think. Okay, so 2 things actually. So health. The way you restore health is you kneel down and you inject like this liquid into your neck. Like, why can't you just do that on the fly? Why'd you have to kneel down or do that? Just stick it in your neck and go on. Like, take like 2 seconds to like Dark Souls. You chug a flask for 2 seconds and you're vulnerable. But like, why not do that instead of making people kneel down? That doesn't make any sense.
You can't heal during a fight.
No, there's no way.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Not that you need to for these bosses because they kill you in one hit, but when you have when you have other people coming at you while this boss is chasing you, it makes it a little bit annoying.
Yeah, and then so yeah, in just terms of like realism, like you wouldn't kneel down and inject. You would just and then go on because it's fight or
I gotta
flight.
run.
Hold on, I gotta shut my door.
And the game also needs a weapon wheel.
Yes, that was my second thing. Is I died so many times on that boss because I was trying to switch to another weapon, and it's got like a quick select that you just double tap, but I never know what's actually in my quick select.
It doesn't work. It straight up just doesn't work sometimes.
Like I try to go into the menu and put something in there onto the main shotgun was already there. So I was like, okay, well that's fine. Like I usually use the shotgun, so I'll keep that there, and then just have whatever like when I pick it. But then I got the assault rifle, and the assault rifle took its place, and then I was like, I don't understand. And then I kept dying because I didn't know. Maybe this is on me, but like I couldn't remember what the weapons looked like because they don't tell you the names of them when you're selecting them. So I kept trying to get like not the hand cannon because that's like the pistol, but like the hand shotgun. I kept trying to get that one, and I kept picking like that or like the tactical pistol or something like that. So super frustrating. Like I spent probably 95% of dying on that specific boss because I was just trying to switch a weapon and I couldn't, and I was getting so frustrated. And you can't pause and select it. You just have to do it on the fly. And guns takes a while to switch them. So, man, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know how any of those boss fights, maybe except for the first one. I don't know how any of them made it out of playtesting because, for starters, and this might be just my opinion, but I don't think you need bosses in a survival horror game. Sometimes, I think you can just have it be an experience. Like sometimes bosses are just kind of overbearing and kind of take you out of the experience. Whereas, like honestly, I loved like the stealth section and like parts like that were more riveting to me. Like I really enjoyed those sections. I really enjoyed the first half. I even enjoyed a lot of the back half aside from the boss fights.
Yeah. But, and I think that's what it really is those boss fights have just kind of soured my
kind of sours it a little bit.
Yeah, sours my taste of that a little bit because yeah, I mean obviously like Resident Evil I think has really good boss fights for the most part. And then like the first Dead Space, like you had like the big like kind of juggernaut enemies that were considered the boss fights. And then you had like the Stalker or whatever it was, like the one that couldn't die, the Regenerator or whatever it was in the original Dead Space, that was super creepy and super tense. And I expected them to have something like that here, and maybe they will. I don't know. I haven't finished the game yet, but yeah, I don't think boss fights are needed. And this one, in concept, it's really cool because it's a two-headed boss, and when you attack one of the heads and essentially kill it, it'll rip it off, and then it's a little bit quicker. So it's a really cool. But the fact that the arenas are really small that you're in, you're having to constantly, dodge, which is fine. That's the main mechanic of the game. But just that weapon swapping is awful. They should have just put it on a D-pad, like, or have like the pistols like on, like you double click the bottom D-pad and it'll swap between those, and then have your shot. Again, like I mentioned, like playtesting. I've never really mentioned playtesting in a game ever, and this is very, very apparent that there was not.
Yeah, they should have moved run to the thumbstick, to clicking on the thumbstick, and then left the left bumper open for weapon wheel. You could have held that down, had a little slow mo or whatever, like they do in like literally every other game.
Yeah,
and it's perfect in every other game. It works. Why not do that? Why, like, yeah, okay.
But see, that's what sucks though, is like everything else about the game I've really enjoyed. Like I love the combat. It's just the weapon wheel, and maybe it's not even that boss, like the one hit whatever. It's just the weapon wheel or the weapon or the lack of. Like it's frustrating to have to hold the left or right stick button or hold it in one direction. And then on the D-pad, like my fingers are hurting because I'm trying to. I know it's not that big of a deal, but I mean the fact that we both died a lot because of that specific circumstance. Yeah, they should have. Yeah, they should have play tested it.
And like I'd have so many times where like I thought I had switched weapons,
Yeah.
and then I go to shoot. I'm like, this is the same gun.
Yeah, because you have to you have to hover over it. You have to click A, but I don't know what I do. Like I hover over it and I click it, and then like you said, like I go to shoot and like I've got no ammo. I'm like, I'm like, what the hell? Like I just switched. So,
It's like
I
it
don't know.
needs a second. Like you need to.
You have to give it a second for you to actually put it away and pull it out. I've noticed.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
I understand the commitment to realism, and this game is very, very realistic in that sense. But at a certain point, you have to sacrifice realism and make it more of a game.
Yeah.
And that's where they need to do that.
Because you'll sit there and like try to switch to your gun, and then you've got to dodge, and that dodge counteracts the gun movement of pulling it out. So and then you're just constantly stuck in this never-ending battle of just you're fighting with your guns. That's what that's the true enemy of the game.
And it's not a problem like 80% of the time. It's just on the boss fights.
Yeah, because most of the time, like when you're fighting like a horde of enemies or whatever, you've got enough firepower to take them out with what you've got.
Yeah.
What you got equipped. So again, very minor things that are huge in the very latter half of the game, because that's where the boss fights come into play, and it's just frustrating because
God, you're gonna hate the last boss.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
You're gonna hate it. I turned it down to easy.
Did you really? Oh God.
Also, there's no achievement for beating it on medium versus easy.
I'll probably definitely take it down then. And then there's one weird area, like kind of in the start of the second half of the game where, and again, I don't know. Again, playtesting, I don't know if it just didn't make sense, but you come to this like kind of construction area, and there's this guy. He's like a worker. He's like, hey, I'm trapped in this. He's like, come open this door for me. And then he's like, and then it's like a big combat arena. You can already tell. And he's like, help me out, and I'll give you the code or whatever, and we'll get out of here. And 10 seconds go by, and he's like, did you find anything to get the door open? And then monsters come, and you kill them, and then you have to wait for a monster inside of the room to kill this guy for the door to open, because the monster will then open it. It doesn't explain it, because even like on like the quest line, it says like, try and help the worker escape. And I spent so much time trying to figure out where he was, and there's no silhouette in the window where he came from, so I was like, what is this, man? I died like 30 times in that part just trying to...
Really?
Yeah, like I died so much because I was trying to find the guy, and then I just kept getting killed because I just was sucking. But yeah, I was really frustrated at that part.
Oh man, I had like no problems with that part
because I just didn't know what to do.
I used all the explosive barrels.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay.
But I spent a lot of time just trying to figure out what this guy was, and then I kept dying, and I was like, well, am I just not doing something right? Are the enemies supposed to be coming out? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, again, I really like the game. You know, I think it's better than Dead Space 1? No, we'll see. We'll see how it comes, you know, in January. But I don't think it is. I think it's a really good attempt at something like Dead Space. And we don't get a lot of them, so you know, that's why I was so excited for this game. So I think it's really good. You know, if you don't, I would buy it on a platform where you can return it, because if you don't dig the combat, like the dodge mechanic, you're not gonna get through this game. It's just you're not going to.
Yeah, if you don't figure it out, if you don't vibe with it, you're gonna hate the game. Yeah, but I don't know why. I don't know why the combat system has gotten so much hate. I think positioning is a big part of this game, and like people, I don't know. I just feel like people aren't positioning themselves well, like in arenas and like with the enemies. They're like, they're saying that enemies keep coming up behind them, but that really didn't happen to me that much.
Yeah, like, there were some times where that would happen.
It happened a few times, but it was never.
But that happened in Dead Space, like because they would come to the vents. Yeah. So I don't really get that kind of gripe with the game. There was one really cool moment that was like kind of like terrifying. I think it was right before you get to the blind enemies, but you kind of come down, like the floor is caved in, and you're standing up on the platform and you're looking down. And there's like 4 or 5 enemies, and I started shooting them. And then they all started running, and I was like, where did they go? So I jumped down, and they had all gone into the same vent. and I was standing there, and all I heard was like 10 guys like coming to the vent at the same time, and I was like, oh my god. And then it was just like a bloodbath. It was really awesome. So yeah, there's some cool moments in the game, and like the environment kills are really cool and fun, but
yeah,
it's just bogged down by just, I'm assuming, there's lack of playtesting for a lot of these areas. So I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed a little rushed.
Yeah.
That being said, I have a soft spot for survival horror.
Yeah,
and I really enjoy this game outside of the boss fights.
Yeah.
This might end up in my top 10 just because I love this genre so much, and it's really hard to do a game like this. But I feel like they did it pretty well, aside from all the gripes that we have, which is more than normal for a game. But
yeah, but it all revolves around like the weapon swapping. I think that's just so bad.
If they can fix that, then
or it's just, if they could just make it like half a second quicker to swap, or put it on like a weapon wheel, like you said, where you can slow down time for like whatever, that would be huge to the game. So again, everything else great. Just fix the weapon swap, and I'm good.
Yeah, and also I tweeted this out earlier, but this game really needs a new game plus.
There's not one.
No, it's coming later.
Oh, it's coming later. Okay.
It needs post-game unlockables, like Resident Evil has, where like you get like these badass weapons, and you look forward to the next playthrough because you're like, okay, this boss that I hated and this boss that sucked, I can probably kill it in like a minute.
That's like that again. The quick turning, like the 180 quick turn, and new game plus awesome weapons is like,
that's like horror game 101.
That's 101 right there. Like that's so frustrating.
Yeah, like it's really frustrating because I would want to play this game again.
Yeah, because it's not a long game.
Plus, no, it was like 7 hours.
Yeah,
and that doesn't include all my deaths. But so it's probably like more around like 8 or 9.
And also, I guess my last gripe with the game is the manual saves aren't actually manual saves.
No, it doesn't take you back to that point.
Yeah, which is very dumb. I mean, it saves all the time. So like, I've never been in a situation where I've had to backtrack too much. So finally, after like the first 2 times, I was like, why am I not at the same exact spot where I saved? I just left it on. Like, I just quick resumed or whatever, and it worked, and it was fine. But yeah, that was a little annoying too. But
again, playtesting. Yeah,
like why wouldn't you? Why would you have a manual save option? But I don't know. The game's really good. If you like survival horror, like it's solid. It's $70, which in the news here, that's going to be the norm going forward. So
yeah, and maybe we're liking it a little bit more because we split the cost.
Yes, we do have the game sharing. Which if you've got a family member or a good friend that you trust having your information, do it, man. It's awesome. Game sharing is great.
Yes,
it's super great.
We paying $30 for Elden Ring was the biggest steal of the year.
I genuinely feel like I committed a crime and got away with it. Nick, I'm gonna go. Cool yeah, and again, it's a good game. It's a good game. But we're eating good. We got Dead Space next month, and then Resident Evil 4 remake in April, right?
Silent Hill, yeah. Resident Evil 4 in March, and then Silent Hill at some point.
Yeah, I'm excited. I never played Silent Hill 2 or any Silent Hill, so I'm super excited for that. Nick, before we dive into the news, I'm gonna go say goodnight to Kellen, and I'll be right back.
Do your thing.
All right, you want to dive into the news?
Yeah,
let's do it.
A lot of stuff this week, man.
Yeah,
a lot of announcements.
Yeah, oddly enough, we usually don't have a ton of news right around end of the year, especially, but the Game Awards. But Nick, we got the second trailer to Mario.
Looks good.
The internet was dogging on my boy Chris Pratt, but he got that wahoo in there, and I lost it.
Said, "Let's go,
let's go." I thought his voice sounded a lot better. Granted, we got more than just 2 lines, that people are losing their minds over. Yeah, it looks. I mean, this is like the most fan servicey video game movie. Like, they got Mario Kart in there.
Mario Kart.
I mean, they've got the Smash Brothers Arena, like, kind of style thing with Donkey Kong. They've got, I mean, there's not gonna be like other characters in there, but Then they had like an actual like Mario like level course with the
Oh yeah, that looks so cool.
yeah, and then like Peach referenced other galaxies, so like maybe like Rosalina's gonna be in it and another kind of galaxies. Like it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Peach looks super badass. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Luigi, like
Yeah,
having Charlie Day do Luigi was one of the best casting decisions,
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, he sounds
He's
great.
hilarious. Yeah, it sounds like exactly how I thought Luigi would sound like.
Yeah. So
Yeah, great casting overall. I think, Peach's casting was really good, and of course, like Bowser is amazing with
Yeah.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, super excited for this movie. I think.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I
really good.
cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I think Illumination and Nintendo are doing a great job, like bringing iconic character to life and
Yeah.
doing it justice. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks
good.
incredible.
Looks good.
I cannot wait for it.
When does it come out?
It's April something. It's April like 12th or something like that.
Okay.
So not too long. Not too long now.
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order from
From Respawn.
Respawn. They that's confirmed for the Game Awards on Thursday. It kind of
gameplay.
yeah, and there was a Steam date leak for March, so it may be coming out in March. So just another
Pretty soon.
another
Q1,
like just stuffed Q1 for next year. So who knows what's going to get delayed out of Q1?
Yeah, things have to get pushed, right? Like there's way too much.
Yeah.
I think like we'll see like Dead Island 2, games like that get pushed out.
Yeah.
That kind of need their own time to shine.
Which didn't Dead Island 2 just get delayed again, like by a month or something? I thought it did.
Did it?
I thought it did. I could have maybe not remember that.
Maybe it
correctly.
did. Yeah, maybe it did.
So yeah, I am super excited for this game this will be like the first Star Wars game I've played as like post being a Star Wars fanboy. To the point where I actually want to like go back and play like the first one again, just to or at least boot up my save and go through the levels and stuff. But super excited to I mean that game was like kind of a sleeper hit, I think, amongst gamers. Like it's like a Dark Souls like Star Wars game. Like that's super cool. So
Who knew that combination would make sense?
and I think it sold like over 20 million copies, so like it sold really well.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, I think so. And then it kind of gave faith back into EA that hey, maybe we should still make single player games because they sell really freaking well.
Yeah, maybe single player isn't dead after all.
Yeah, I mean, look at God of War, look at Elden Ring. Look at all of Nintendo's single player franchises; they always sell millions. So yeah, I mean, there's in a world of everything needing a battle pass, there's still a huge market for single player only games.
There's still hope in the universe.
Nick, you want to read the next one?
Yeah, so this one was pretty surprising to me. Maybe not to other people, but Xbox games, or at least Xbox first party games, are getting a price increase, going from $60 to $70, and that's starting in 2020 with releases Forza Motorsport, Redfall, Starfield. Games are obviously still free on Game Pass if you have that, but if you want to buy them straight up, $70.
Yeah, I think it's a little surprising because Phil Spencer just said a couple months ago that they didn't have any plans on, increasing the price like through 2023. So,
yeah,
I think that's where like people are a little surprised at. But I mean, they lasted 2 years. Sony right off the bat, jumped it up to 70. So at least, because I'm an Xbox fanboy, right? At least they waited until like it's truly like next generation games before they're actually doing that. Because everything that Sony's done prior, maybe not 70 should be for most of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to their like actual PS5 exclusives, like Ratchet and Clank, Demon Souls, Returnal. Returnal should not have been $70. That should have been And that's not me hating on PlayStation. I think they jumped the gun with that way too soon.
And now I feel like maybe it's time, now that we've, Sony I think is done with PS4 as far as their first party good stuff goes. They're like God of War was our last, cross gen stuff. So, maybe they should have waited. Maybe they shouldn't have. I don't know. People buy Sony games regardless. But I'm not necessarily surprised about this. I think it's fine. I saw on Twitter earlier, someone was like, they're like, screw it, put it up to 100. We got a Game Pass, baby. So, I mean,
yeah, it's like, it's hard to care about this that much since I have Game Pass, but I guess my question for those of you who don't have Game Pass that have an Xbox is like, why not? Why?
People still like physical, but like, I just don't see, like I would eventually want to pick up like Halo 5 and Halo Infinite on disc just because I have all the other ones. But like for stuff new like Redfall, Starfield, like maybe Starfield because you want maybe like the collector's edition or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. Like if you have an Xbox at this point, like why aren't you already subscribed to Game Pass?
Yeah. So that fact kind of cushions the blow a little bit. Otherwise, I would have been more upset. I mean, I understand games are super expensive, and we've been coming to this point for a while. Like it's been 10 to 15 years since the last price increase.
Yeah.
Again, when games went from like $50 to 60, and yeah, so it's been a long time. Games have their budgets have grown astronomically since then. I mean, I'm sure God of War Ragnarok costs hundreds of millions to make, huge games with huge budgets. You've got to get there at some point. I think Sony did jump the gun, like you said, especially when they had their whole narrative of believing in generations, and then they go back on that, but not going back on any price increases. Yeah, not going back on price. So it kind of felt heavy-handed for no real reason, especially when you have like the PS4 games are $60, but they have free upgrades, or some of them had that. Some of them had like a $10 upgrade. But yeah, I guess we're here. This is it now. They're $70 except for Nintendo. Still $60, baby.
Which
sometimes 50.
I think in the next couple of years, I think they'll increase it to 70.
I think it'll be like 3 years from now.
Yeah,
I think it'll be with the next console. You got to back it up somehow. You got to back it up with either graphics, scope,
I think
innovation.
I mean, if they put out a console next year, who knows? But it's got to be. It can't just be like a Switch Pro. It's got to be like something. I'm ready for Nintendo to be on top again as far as the graphic goes. I know they never will. I know GameCube was the last time that they were on top, but man,
I'm more so ready for it so people stop complaining about it.
Yeah,
because like I'm tired of people saying like a game like
Pokemon,
especially Pokemon Arceus.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much Scarlet and Violet because that game is truly ugly. It's a bad looking game.
Yeah,
but Arceus was ugly, but beautiful in its own way, and I think it got a lot of hate on its graphics, but it did a lot for the franchise.
I think it was ugly. Like the first area you go to was beautiful because it was like all green, and then like when you go to the area that's like kind of like the muddy swamplands, like that's when it got like
that one's real bad.
Yeah, that's when it got really ugly.
Yeah. Okay. That's what you're saying.
But anyways, yeah, same here. I just want people to shut up about it. But anyways, so yeah, I think it was inevitable with Xbox games going up too. But it is what it is. Just get Game Pass and you don't have to worry about it. So
yeah, just or like get a trial for Game Pass once Starfield and Redfall come out and try those games out. So
yeah,
not too big of a problem.
Nick, Monster Hunter Rise is coming January 20th. Yeah. I am so surprised by this. I thought this was a Switch PC exclusive, and that was it.
I thought it was too.
I am now to the point where I'm almost afraid to buy like third-party stuff on Xbox now because like it'll come to Game Pass at some point, no matter what. Yeah. Which is fine. I'll support a developer, but the only thing that sucks about this is there's no cross-save stuff.
Yeah, I really, really wish there was, because I would love to jump into this game. Oh, I would love to continue playing this game because I beat it on Switch.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy
But
that they don't.
how do they not? Like, even if, like, I understand the expansion is coming later in the year, it's not launching with the
Yeah.
game. But just give me access to just the game.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't need the expansion content right now. I just want to experience the game on a more powerful console. But
Maybe they'll add it whenever they launch Sunbreak on the Xbox.
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I still need to get
that's
into that.
crummy. That's super crummy.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, I never understood that. It's like, well, I do understand it in some circumstances because they want people to double dip, but in this case where it's free, like, why?
I mean, it's also coming to PlayStation.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it would be nice to have that feature. And then also like just a couple of things that are coming tomorrow. Lego Star Wars, like the Skywalker Saga, is coming tomorrow to Game Pass. Like,
Nice.
I definitely want to play that. Hello Neighbor 2 is coming out. High on Life's coming out December 13th, and then Hot Wheels Unleashed is coming out on the December 15th. So,
Wow, that's is that next week?
yeah,
It is. Oh my god, I can't believe Pie on Life is coming next week.
yeah,
And freaking Hot Wheels, which I really want to play.
yeah. I do want to play that too. Let's see. And then the next story, Halo Infinite's multiplayer director Tom French has left the studio after 11 years.
Where's he going?
He didn't say. He said
Okay.
he's on a new endeavor. So, who knows what that is? You know, that's. I know a lot of people were like, just shut Halo down and blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, that's a long time to be with the franchise, but also, like, after 11 years, like, maybe you just want to do something completely different. You know, you got season 2, you got the winter update out the door, whatever. You know, Halo's been in a rocky state. Well, actually, you know what? I'll tell you what. Halo's great. The multiplayer is the best it's ever been. It's just we're in an age where you just have to have constant drip feed content coming out, and they just were not prepared. And obviously, you know, with Halo getting delayed, and then, you know, we all know the story. Just maybe bad management, Microsoft not putting their foot down. We have no idea. So something like that doesn't surprise me. I don't think they said who's replacing him. You know, I would love to see with like season 3, like Halo just being on top again. Like, they've got like so much good content coming out, but I don't know. Like, I still play it here occasionally, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a good thing, having someone fresh come in.
Yeah.
With new perspectives, and, you know, maybe changing up the mindset at 343.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's always hard to tell how much a company is going to change when one person leaves. You never know how much of an impact they had, and that's one thing we won't really know until, you know, a few months after Tom's left.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know where this game is going to end up next year. You know, a year from now, are we still going to be talking about Halo? We're still going to be hyped for, you know, a new season.
Yeah.
Am I going to jump back in? You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely play season 3 when it comes out, because it seems like they're going to be on like a typical schedule for a season, which is fine. You know, the typical season is like 3 months, which is perfect, in my opinion. In the Battle Pass era now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just need more maps. There's a new gun coming, so, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Halo.
Yeah.
And then the last one, I did play. Well, I didn't really play, but Fortnite Chapter 4 launched. Geralt is in the game now. Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah, and it looks amazing.
He's not technically in the game yet. He is coming in like 60 days, I think, as part of like the battle pass, like as a bonus or whatever. But yeah, they upgraded the engine to UE5. So it looks really good. There's a lot of cool mechanics in the game now that are cool. And then my gripe with battle passes is, which is what I think Halo does so well with their battle passes. You pay for the battle pass, and you can always switch between the different battle passes, so you never lose it. With Fortnite, you lose your battle pass,
so you have to play.
So yeah, you spend the money, which most of the time you can get the coins or whatever, the V-Bucks within like the battle pass to buy the next battle pass. So I paid the $10 for the battle pass or whatever, and then just kind of used it for this last one. But I got like halfway through, I got kind of tired of it. And then I came back today and it was completely gone. So kind of a bummer, like that it's not there, that you can't just switch between or finish it up if you want to. So that's kind of crummy, I think. And maybe you can, and I'm just not aware, but I don't think you can, because I remember Halo being pretty unique in that regard, where you can swap between them, which is really cool. And I think, you're buying digital content. I feel like you should be able to swap between them, but
to keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be because of the fact that you can earn enough credits to buy the next battle pass. They don't want you to be able to go back and still like earn enough credits. It's almost like a punishment for like, if you're not going to finish this battle pass, you got to shell out real money for the next one.
But then I feel like I should get like a refund then. Like if I only got through 50% of your battle pass, like I want 50% of my V-Bucks back. I feel like that's only fair, but I don't know. Maybe that's just a me problem. I just don't play enough to get it, but I don't know. So
yeah, I'm interested how Marvel Snap's battle pass works, whether or not you can actually continue with an old battle pass before a new one comes out.
I don't know. We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, find out tomorrow.
But yeah, that was just mine. I just booted up and watched like the trailer and stuff for it, and Mr. Beast is in the game now. He's a skin.
Beast.
Who else is in there? Doom Guy's in there. So he's part of the battle pass. Cool. So it's cool. There's a lot of cool things.
It looks beautiful. It looks incredibly good compared to like the old Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like night and day. That is going to wrap up the news. Let's jump into the predictions, Nick.
I love predictions. I love being wrong.
So what
I expect.
So I think a lot of people thought maybe the Mario trailer was going to be there, but we obviously got that last week, so I don't think we'll see anything from the Mario trailer, other than maybe they'll just show it again, maybe. Do you think we get a glimpse or another trailer for Zelda?
I think if anything from Nintendo were to show up, it would be a trailer for Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing Nintendo would show, would be Tears.
Yeah, because like, what else would they even? What would they show? Like a Metroid trailer or something like that? Like, I don't think so.
A Metroid Prime remake, stealth launch.
Yeah,
download it right now. I think Hollow Knight's gonna happen.
You think so? You think it's gonna get stealth launched, or do you think we're gonna get a release date? By the way, should I go get you some clown makeup from the store? Do you want to go
I think we'll get a release date.
Okay.
I think we'll get a release date.
Probably January or February.
God, dude. And that game's gonna be like 30 to 40 hours. Like,
yeah.
God.
Do you think it can live up to the first one?
I don't know. I don't know.
It just has so much hype behind it. Like almost like an unprecedented amount of hype.
Hollow Knight was trending earlier when I was on Twitter like an hour ago, like an hour and a half ago. I was like, why is this trending?
People were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Is that?
I guess. I don't know.
You guys remember Hollow Knight? It's a great game.
I don't really know what else to expect. Like I'm sure we'll see. What's the Fulbright studio guy's name?
Fulbright.
Is it Fulbright? They got the It Takes Two developer, Full Bright something.
Hazelight.
No, I was completely off.
Yeah.
Hazelight. I'm sure we'll see him there.
Oh yeah, he's confirmed.
Is he awesome? Yeah, that dude's so funny. I love that guy.
I hope we like see a glimpse of his next game or something.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be cool. It seems like they're able to turn games around pretty fast.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll probably see him at some point.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like if we'll have any major announcements from the big three.
You said Gear 6, right? Maybe we'll get a glimpse of Gear 6.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it's time, right?
When was Gears 5? It was like 2019.
I think so, right? I can spell.
Maybe.
I think it was 2019.
2019, yeah, it must have been 2019.
2019, yeah.
So it's been 3 years. I mean, it's probably time for a trailer. Maybe not
come on next year. It'd be 4 years. I think it was was it September? September 6th. Yeah, September 6th was the Ultimate Edition release, but September 10th was the worldwide release date. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see a trailer for that. I don't know. Maybe they'll save that for like their E3 showing. But I mean, I feel like that's a possibility. Maybe, or I'm just trying to think of like Microsoft specifically. Like maybe we'll get like another Starfield trailer or a Redfall or something. Maybe Starfield. I feel like that could use another trailer.
I feel like it really needs one, just to garner some hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we know that's launching in the first half of next year, but that's all we know, right?
Redfall is.
Well, I thought Starfield was as well.
No, I think Starfield's supposed to come out holiday, isn't it?
What?
I thought so.
No.
Starfield.
Hold on, I gotta Google. Yeah, look this up.
Starfield release date.
I mean, I'm sure it'll get pushed.
Okay, yes, it's first half of 2023.
Okay. God, thank God.
Yeah, because it's supposed to come out November 11th of this year. I think that's, man, I don't know if that comes out in the first half. I think that's like September, October. But I don't know.
You think so?
I think so. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I just feel like that demands more of like a holiday, like, release date, but
I think this game just needs to release.
Yeah.
I think it'll have the hype around it.
Yeah.
Like it's the next game, or it's the, whatever. It's from the creators of oh my God. Elder Scrolls.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Speaking of which, I think we'll get some DLC.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know what it'll be, but I am excited.
What was that? What was that one like leaked image? It was like something Badlands or something like
barbarians and Badlands.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I think we'll get some. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think we'll get some DLC for that. It'll probably come around February when it launched. Maybe do like a Game of the Year edition with bundled in. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I think it'll come to Game Pass as well.
You think so?
I don't know. I feel like too little, too late. I think would be for that. I don't know.
Everyone already bought it.
Yeah.
Everyone who wanted to buy it already bought it.
Yeah.
I think I saw some rumors that Sekiro 2 might get announced.
Dude, if they announced Sekiro before Bloodborne, man, I would be so mad. Dude,
Bloodborne's Sony. Man. It's Sony.
I know.
Or it's Japan Studios. Like that studio shut down.
How is there not a Bloodborne 2 at this point? Or a Bloodborne remake or something? Dude, how?
I don't know. I really have no idea how they have not at least remastered that game for the PS5.
But it's not even on PC.
No, it's not on PC. People would love it on PC. People would have a freaking modding field day with Bloodborne on PC. Oh my God.
I just don't know. Like, Sony, get it together, man. Just get it
Like,
together.
if there's one game that needs... It doesn't even need it. But if there's one game that needs a re-release, it is Bloodborne. And Bloodborne needs a damn sequel, okay? I'm tired of beating around the bush.
It does. That was one, like, I mean, that was, what, like on our top 3 of all time? 2015.
One.
Was it your number 1? I think Zelda was mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I want to go back and play that game. 2015. March 2015.
That's when it released.
Out. Yeah. So it'll be 8 years in March.
But it only released once.
Dude, I'll give it in. I'll take it on the PS5 and the PS6. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
God, man, yeah. If that's my crazy prediction, I'll do Bloodborne. We'll either get a Bloodborne 2, or we'll do a Bloodborne remake. We need to do Bingo. I think so.
Yeah, I can try to create a card.
Yeah.
Online on the internet.
Just like I'll text you like some other random like whatever guesses or whatever, and you can.
I'll add them on.
Just put it on there. We'll go from there.
They can't be too. They can't be too out there though.
Too out of pocket. Someone's got to win.
So we've got a Bloodborne 2, Gears 6, Tears of the Kingdom, Starfield trailer. Harrison, this is a classic case of overhyping an award show.
I don't think Gear 6 is necessarily like out of pocket. I think that's a definite possibility. It's kind of random, I think, like, but I think Tears of the Kingdom, I think that's a lock in. Of course, we said it last year and we didn't get anything either. So I mean,
we got Jag last year,
but we were thinking like the dual pack and all all that nonsense. So.
Wait, were we thinking dual pack last year?
I think we said either either Breath of the Wild 2 trailer or Zelda dual pack, something ridiculous. I don't know.
And we didn't get anything from Nintendo.
No, last year was just pretty bad, like in general.
That was probably the worst one.
Yeah.
The other ones have been like okay. They've been exciting to watch, but that one really dragged. And this one's gonna be shorter.
Okay, thank God.
It's good to know. He's like, yeah, it's significantly shorter this year.
It starts at 7:30. And then what is it? A 2-hour show?
It might be 3. Which is that shorter?
I don't think it is.
Were they 4 hours in the past?
I think it might have been last year.
That is a long time.
The Game Awards.
Yeah, it said 7:30 to 10:30.
Okay. So yeah, I think last year was 4 hours.
It must have been. My God, did we watch the whole thing? We did. Right?
I think we did. And I think 3.5 hours was ads.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm excited. Anything else? Can you think of? Half-Life 3, maybe. Portal 3. Anything?
As someone who just played
PS
Portal
Vita 2.
1 and Portal 2. PS Vita 2. Not in a million years.
Yeah, they'll never make a handheld again.
No. Maybe Advance Wars.
Is that game just dead? Is that the game just dead at this point? Why?
I don't know, because
why not release it? It makes no sense.
I think they either need to stealth release it or wait for the war to end. And I don't know. That it's a very touchy subject. I think they just should have released the game, and not even connected it to.
I don't think a single person would have said anything like that. Oh, this is offensive, or maybe this is bad taste. Like Call of Duty releases every single year, and I mean.
That's like more war focused than anything.
Yeah, like there's so many of the war games and stuff like that come out. I don't. I mean, I understood on one hand why they did it, but also like you said, they should have just put it out there, and it would have been just fine. Yeah, but I don't know. Any other predictions that you can think of?
Anything from Sony? Like
maybe Spider-Man 2, maybe?
Factions? I don't know.
Maybe Wolverine? Look at Wolverine? I think it's too early.
Yeah. I think Wolverine will be like 2024, 2025.
I think Spider-Man 2. Because that's supposed to come out next year. I think we could maybe see something like that. I think that would be pretty huge.
If anything from Sony, it'll be Spider-Man?
Yeah. I don't think they'll show the factions gameplay or anything like that there.
All right, so give me your so if all the big three are having one big announcement, what is that announcement that they're gonna have?
Like a brand new game?
No, it doesn't have to be a brand new game. It just has to be like their big announcement, their big
trailer or whatever.
Trailer, yeah.
Nintendo Tears of the Kingdom, Xbox Starfield, PlayStation, Spider-Man. Yeah. I would want to see something different from Xbox. I would want to see like Gear 6 or something like that.
Or like Fable or Avowed.
Yeah, Fable. Yeah, like where's Fable? Avowed, like I'm. I could
not sold on yet.
Yeah, I'm not sold on it yet. Fable. I mean, Granted, Fable is a completely different studio, so. But I mean, that's a recognizable IP. So yeah, Fable could be really cool.
I just don't know how Hellblade hasn't released yet.
Hellblade, yeah. Where's Hellblade at?
Like, they announced that game like 5 years ago,
or maybe
not that long ago.
All right, this is my big guess. Xbox is going to be partnering with From Software to make their own game.
Oh God, you think so?
Maybe. I think that could be a huge possibility.
What's the setting? What's the theme?
It's Bloodborne 2. No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know what the setting. I don't think it could be.
Can't be like a.
I don't think it'll be like. No, I don't.
It'll be a Souls game in modern day America.
I was kind of thinking like maybe like a post-apocalyptic, like America or something or something like that. Like kind of more like a futuristic style game where you could have like your crazy monsters because of nuclear radiation and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know. That could be cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or we get the rumored or is it rumored at this point? The I always forget his name. Why do I forget his name?
Kojima,
the Xbox, the game he's making for Xbox.
Oh, the cloud game.
Yeah,
he's been like teasing that for a while, right? Like, isn't Dakota, not Dakota Fanning, but the other Fanning sister.
Yeah,
she's in whatever that game is going to be. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
unless he was teasing something else, but he's like been teasing like actors in whatever game he's talking about.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get something like that. That could be pretty huge for Xbox.
I mean, we know he's going to be there.
Yeah,
it's just what in what context? Is it for his like Spotify thing, or is
his
it
podcast, or is it for,
or is it Death Stranding 2, or is it this game? And I'm sure it's out of all three of those, it's going to be like it's going to be the Xbox thing. I don't think Death Stranding 2 is. I don't think that's coming anytime soon, or I don't even know if it's on the horizon. But
yeah, or Death Stranding comes to Xbox, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it would come to Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe Xbox could have like a Game Pass like sizzle reel, like they'll finally show when Ghostwire is supposed to be coming to Game Pass, and then some others like some other crazy things like maybe it's Elden Ring that's coming to Game Pass or something else. So I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities, but also it's
a lot of room for disappointment.
It has a lot of room for disappointment. Who do you think is going to win Game of the Year?
I think it'll be Elden Ring.
You think it will be? So
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards. I think it'll be God of War. I think a lot of. You think it'll be Elden Ring for sure?
Elden Ring's impact was astronomically, in my opinion.
I agree. I think Elden Ring just was just a huge not only did the game score incredibly well, but I mean everybody was playing it. Like people that didn't play like any Dark Souls games got into this game and loved it for the most part. I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've also I've seen some videos about like Sony bias at the Game Awards and like because there's no way that Stray should be on the list. And that's what. And great. Like now that I play God of War, if God of War wins, totally fine. Like it's that good of a game. But I hope that because that Sony has a very strong bias, and I think in the games industry, rightfully so, they have a lot of great games. But I think a lot of like the main line like news outlets have like a big play too. So
Yeah. What about
but again, Stray should
really,
not be in there.
Stray over. I don't know. There are so many other much better games.
Kirby,
and
I think Kirby's better than
played
Stray.
Like I played all the way through. Oh yeah, Kirby better than Stray. Like I feel like Bayonetta 3 could have been on there. It wasn't my favorite, but scored really well. I mean,
yeah.
Pokemon Legends also could have I feel like that could have.
And Nintendo games really don't ever get on the list like that. I mean, it's lucky that Xenoblade is on there at all.
Yeah, I feel like that was just a.
And Horizon, I just did not feel that people liked that game that much.
Yeah, I feel like people wanted to say that they liked it.
I think people like, like you said, I think they just kind of force themselves to like it, if that makes sense, just because it is like a first-party Sony game. And it doesn't help that Elden Ring came out like 2 weeks later and just completely killed it. But I don't know. My list isn't done yet. I've still got some things to play, but right now it's hard to think that anything trumps Elden Ring at this point. It's just, I mean, over 100 hours for me in that game, and I loved every second of it. And I don't know. I got a lot of thinking to do. But...
Yeah, it's. I do this with a lot of like Souls games, but it's one of the few games where like I'll play through the first time and like love the 50 hours that I play with it, and I still want to play it again.
Yeah.
after spending so much time in it, I'm like, I want to do this again.
Yeah, I want to do another build or whatever the case is.
Yeah, and I don't know. It I know it's like easy to pick Elden Ring because it's the popular game this year and it's like the breakout game, but like from two people who've like loved FromSoft games for years and years and years, like it was just amazing to see this game release and to see like so many new fans come in.
Yeah,
and it made such an impact that I don't know. We're not going to see it in the next few years, but the success of this game is going to change the way developers look at and trust players.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be for the better.
Yeah, I mean the same way Breath of the Wild changed, open world games. I think Elden Ring absolutely did the same thing, and that's what really kind of grinds my gears. Like, oh, it's just Dark Souls open. Like, no, it's not. No, it's more than that. It means so much more to gaming than you can possibly think. Where you just have the choice to do whatever you want, and some people like that guided experience, but some people like you and I and other people, you just want the game to shut up and just let you roll and just what other game do you like can you run into something, and like right at the beginning of the game, and then 50 hours later you're like, oh yeah, that happened, like, yeah, I totally missed the tutorial, which maybe that's a bad thing, I don't know, but stuff like that, or like you out of the dungeon or out of the cave, like you just went right, I went straight, or vice versa, and I mean,
and I got a tutorial and you didn't.
Yeah,
but like it's your experience to have, and I think that's what's special about it.
Yeah,
and we've talked about this a bunch, but like no one experience is the same.
No,
for Elden Ring, and maybe that's just the nature of like open world games, but even comparing it to other like open world games, like like your Ubisoft games or whatever, like this one, like you can really go anywhere.
Yeah, and
really
there's Skyrim, and there's Oblivion, like Elder Scrolls games that have did that same thing back in 2006 or 7 and 2011. But just the traversal is so much better in this game. Like your freaking horse has a double jump. Like, how awesome is that?
That's just like such a game thing.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, and I love that they did it. It looks dumb. It's like, why is my horse? But
why not?
It's a magical horse. Why not?
Why not? And just traveling, just being able to travel is so fast. Once you get those what is it, prayer points? What is it? I can't remember what they're called. The bonfires, whatever.
Little bonfires.
Yeah, it's just if you get it, you get it, and a lot of people got it, and I'm glad. I'm so happy that people were introduced to the world of From, because all their games are just incredible, and they just keep getting better and better. So whatever they do next, obviously, you and I are there day one for sure.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, Elden Ring was just huge. It was a huge moment in gaming.
Yeah, my wife hates it though. There's no story. What are you even doing?
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, I don't even care.
Are you reading item description? What are you doing, nerd?
You little stupid idiot. It's like, yeah, okay, I get that. I get why she would like God of War more than Elden Ring, but it's my experience, okay?
Yeah, it's my experience.
I'm the one playing.
But yeah, that's any last predictions for the Game Awards? We'll be streaming it. I'll probably start the streaming around like 7ish. I think it's 7:30 Eastern time. So I'm sure we'll get on there and talk some more predictions, I guess, or last second things, and then
get our bingo card ready, get it all queued up, and then might have a few drinks and have some fun.
Yeah, just vibe out.
Out.
See shirtless Vin Diesel on a dinosaur for art too.
Just pray. Pray we see it.
I pray.
I pray.
It's family. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up the show, guys. Appreciate everyone listening. Nick, where can they follow us? So we'll be live this Thursday. So where can they watch us?
Yeah, you can watch us on Twitch, Gaming with the Broscast. We will be live Thursday around 7 p.m. streaming the Game Awards. We'll have a bingo card. Bring your own if you want one. I don't know.
If you want to upload it to Twitter, Nick, and if people want to,
I'll tweet it out, and you can have like a little, a randomized version of it, because that's how bingo cards work. Yeah, we'll do that. So, Game with the Broscast. If you want to check us out, if you want to see us on Twitter, at GamingWTBros. That's where we'll post out links, bingo cards, all that stuff. If you have any predictions that you want us to discuss before the actual Game Awards, you can DM us on Twitter. You can add us at Twitter. You can email us at gamingwiththebros@yahoo.com. And, like normal, all that stuff is in the description. So, go check us out. Hope you guys come out and join us. It's gonna be fun. We always love streaming the Game Awards. We've been doing it for this is our third year.
Yeah, third year.
Third year streaming the Game Awards.
Yep. Yeah, it's always a good time.
Always fun.
Yeah, it's always a fun time. It's
even when it's not, it's fun.
Nice. Yeah,
when it's not fun.
Get a couple drinks in you, and you just get mad.
Yeah, you get mad, or anything is exciting.
Yeah, anything. Like specifically the stupid Arc 2 announcement. Like that was such a ridiculous, like out of left field. Like what is this Vin Diesel thing? Oh, it's Arc. What the heck? All right, whatever.
That was a good one. That
was a good year.
Callisto Protocol got announced.
Yeah.
A few other things, but that was a solid year.
That was, yeah. That was what, 2 years ago, I think, for that one.
Yeah, that was 2020.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Good one.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see y'all. If y'all join us on Thursday, we'll see you then. If not, we'll see you guys next Monday with hopefully we got a lot of good things to talk about.
Yeah, hopefully. Oh, God.
All right. See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.